Okay, so here we go. Finally, I have a tripod. I got around to doing this deck list profile, and I have to say, first, big fan of Koby. Those who don't know me, you probably don't know me because this is probably my first video on this channel. But I do love Koby a lot. Really fun deck. I believe it's super underrated right now. Like, I believe it's always been underrated, but I think now it's underrated, and people keep dropping it from where it was like a high spot in the tier list, like A plus. People were thinking, and then as like this set came out, OP15, he started dropping, and now people are putting him in B tier, and some people are just writing him off completely, which I think is just wrong. So yeah, without further ado, we'll start it off. I think I'll start with the way I got it laid out here. Might as well just go from... I feel like going by cost would probably be better. So yeah, we'll probably just go through all our costs, and I'll just pile up through the way. So first, obviously, we have 4 search events. Right, if you don't know what it does, top 3 cards of your deck, and then you reveal a Navy type card other than this. Then the rest go in the trash, which is good because it activates Koby's leader effect, which is if you have 3 cards in trash and one of your characters were to be removed by effect, right, it has to be a Navy character with 7,000 base power or less, you can bottom deck 3 cards. So this is what turns on our leader ability right away. 4 of, it's a search you want to see in your opening hand. We'll start with our other searcher up here. 1 cost Kujaku, right? One of the best searchers in the game. It's just sad that she can't pick up herself off a search, but we'll talk about that later. She's a top 5 search. You grab a Navy card, and then her activate main, right, is you can trash her and give one of your characters plus 1,000 power. So if you draw into her and you have an extra Don available that you were going to attach anyways, you might as well get a search off of it. So yeah. 4 of her, both of our searchers within the deck. Right, moving into the underrated GOAT right here, Tashigi. All right, she is just a common, but she does a lot of work in this deck, and I'll talk about this later in my Enel matchup video as well as just like matchup guide video. But I think this card is very underrated. Just because you're able to give plus 2,000 power to one of your Navy characters, which creates a lot of early game pressure, as well as into the mid game, right? Because that's where we really make our money. We're a mid-range deck. She's also a pseudo blocker, because once she's rested, we're able to clear out chumps like searchers. We can pop with Koby, or we can use Hibari's on play, which we'll talk about soon, and we can KO those chumps so that they have to waste a leader swing, right, in order to clear this. And if they waste a leader swing into a 1/1, that's a win. That's a win. Okay. Sticking with our 1-drops. Aramaki. A 2K, but a utility 2K, right? In a pinch, you can trash him, play him out for 1, trash him, mill 2, and then you can give one of your characters attack active. Right, so for the most part, he's just a 2K. He can come in clutch when you really need it. So, also a way to turn on leader ability if you still haven't done it, and you know that there's a 5-drop that's coming up that could pop one of your 4-drops, or your 3-drop. Ace Saba Luffy, right, this is just a really good red 2K. Obviously, we're running as a 4 of. Right now, we're running 12 2Ks in this deck. At first, you can have a bit of flexibility when it comes to that, right? You can run 11 to 12. Some people are running 10. I think just the more 2Ks, the more counter we have, the better, because we just draw so much. But right here, right, put him down for 1. You trash him. You give one of your active Dons, so it's almost like a 2-drop, basically, right? But you give one of your active Dons to one of your characters or your leader, and then you can minus an opponent's character by 3,000. So this is like a bit of emergency reduction. Right. We like to have 2Ks with utility. And I think we'll just, instead of going by Don count, we'll just go into our other 2K up here because we might as well get them all out the way. So next we have Helmeppo. This is a 4 of without a doubt. This is basically 4 extra copies of Habari over here, right? Because when you play him out, you can trash him to play out a sword type character that's a cost 3 or less. Now, targets for this would be Habari ideally, but if you need a search, you can have it play out Kujaku, right? And it also helps because when you reduce a body, say with Doll or with Meteor Fist, right, you can toss his Helmeppo at it and get a free swing in. You know, because sword type characters can attack the turn they're played, which is Koby's leader ability. So yeah, really, really great 2K. Definitely want that as a 4 of. Let's get these couple out the way here. Doll, running this as a 2 right now. Thinking of going to 3, depending on how much green shows up. Green's coming back in a big way because of all the freeze cards that they're using. So like Luna, All Out event, things like that. Right. This boosts your Navy type characters by 2. So it makes it so that our biggest hitters right here, Helmeppo and Koby, aren't frozen by Luna. Now, yes, she does turn off the Kujaku effect on these guys, but this guy survives for a card a turn, anything, right? And Helmeppo is a 7K body, which is pretty easy to defend. Like, it's not, come on, you know? Moving forward, one of these staples. 3 cost 5K Habari right here. This card is absolutely goated. You know, she's an automatic 4 of, but her on play and when attacking, she can give a sword type leader or character attack active. So as soon as she's played, she can strike, right? And then her activate main is she can give an opponent's character minus 1,000 power, which is great because that basically makes her like, you know, 3 costs 6K, I guess, since she reduces the body by 1K, which is very nice. And that just helps, you know, make swings easier on different targets. That can also be plussed up by the Doll minus, which we'll talk about soon. Just great card. Fantastic. We'll go into our other 2 4-drops. All right. I'll talk about RB Koby. I love RB Koby 1 because of the art. This is like the best Koby art in the game, other than the leader and like right here. But come on, like that's a great looking card. But he's not a brick. He's a 4-drop, 5K, so he's good stat line, right? His when attacking, he's able to KO an opponent's character with 3,000 base power or less, and then if you have 6 or less cards in hand, you draw a card. So really great for us. However, in the current meta, he's not like a priority drop. I do like dropping this on 8 Don along with Doll. And we'll get to that when we talk about Doll. Still a great card. We'll talk about it more in the matchup video. 4 cost Kujaku. This card is definitely underrated for a while. What is that? Sorry about that. This card, definitely underrated. I think for some reason the East did not like this card for a bit. They were running it as like a 1 or a 2 of, but now it seems like people are seeing the actual value to her, right? Where 1, her on play is a filter, right? So you just trash a Navy card, you draw 2. That's great. So you're going +1. Well, actually, when you play her out, you trash 1. You go neutral. So still solid though, right? She's a 4/6, great stat line, and best part about her, on opponent's turn, all of your sword type characters gain plus 2,000 power, as long as they're 6 costs or less. So that's why we were talking about the Doll earlier, because if you have that 2C Doll out, she's going to boost these guys at 8 and they'll lose it. But all of your 4 costs and your 3 costs will keep that. I love Kuj. I really think she was underrated for a while. Matchups that she helps in, purple and L, your characters can't be locked down because now they're plus 2,000, and it takes a lot more work for a Nell to minus and reduce bodies to use those 0 cost events to freeze them. So they're spending way more events now, which is really good. And then obviously just keeping your board alive, you know, like her coming down as a 4 swinging right away. Now she's an 8K character on their turn. She's going to stick around for a long time. Our last 4-drop right here. Doll. Right, I was just told today for some reason that Doll is not the answer. I won't say by who, but Doll is the answer, okay? She's the truth. Not only is she a blocker, right, but we can trash a card and we can give a character minus 6,000 power, which is huge, right? Especially in this meta, there's a lot of 10K characters, a lot of 9Ks, right? This turns those into 3Ks, which Koby is just going to eat up all day. All day. And guess what? You get the KO, right? Boom. Who's drawing off the KO? Right here. Like, dude, Doll is the answer. Yes, she obviously doesn't have a strong power stat line, which means she can get hit by Mama Ragan. She can be rested, but make it so they have to do something about it, right? At least you're taking out a body. There's no, if you get minus 6K, they are losing that body, without a doubt. Right, unless they want to throw us their entire hand for it, which is fine. If we can take their entire hand out on one character, we're winning. That's our game plan. We're chipping away at hand, we're gaining board control, and eventually we'll push for game. But Doll, amazing. Next, I'll save the best two for last. Next, Helmeppo. Right, this is a 4 of. Some people want to go less. I understand. Oh, but I drew into another Helmeppo and I don't know what to do with him. He kind of feels like a brick after I get the first one out. He's not. Okay. You don't want to go down in this because you don't want to reduce your consistency for the Helmeppo combo, which we're going to talk about once we get to Koby. All right. But for Helmeppo, once you play him, you trash a card from your hand, right? You draw a card and you can play a sword type character with a cost 8 or less other than Helmeppo from your trash. And then at the end of the turn, that character will be bottom decked. So in a pinch, if you don't have the Meppo combo into Koby, you can recur Habari. You can bring back RB Koby for another swing. Like, you can bring back a Searcher if you have to. You can bring back Kuj for another swing and a filter, you know? Because at that point, you bring her back from trash 1, you gain 2 cards. It's pretty nice. But yeah, I would never go less than 4. You don't want to reduce your chance of the big combo here. But great stat line, 6-7. All right, we got Goat right here, which is 6-7 Koby. Right, this card is just the heart and soul of this deck right now. All right, not only is he not a brick because he has 1K counter, but once per turn. Right, as long as your leader is Navy type, if he were to be removed from the field, you can trash a card from your hand instead. And this is by Helmeppo effect, right? This is by battle, by any other effect. Anything that will take him from the board and put him somewhere else. Just trash a card. And then once per turn, on our turn, when the opponent's character is KO'd, we will draw. Which is great because Koby's one problem for a while was the fact that we just don't draw. And then for a little while, it was like, we're KOing bodies, we're killing things, but we're losing more resources than we're gaining. Now we're gaining resources when we kill things. Right? And obviously, you want to go from your Helmeppo, you'll play him out. Koby, you'll trash from your hand, put him in your trash, draw a card, you'll play him out. All right, so now you have the card that you can spend on this if you want. Or, if you're able to KO, you gain another card, and you just say you could trash a brick to keep him. You can trash a 1K to keep him, anything, right? Just so that he stays around at the end of the turn. Now we establish 2 6-cost 7K bodies on our 6th on turn, ideally, which is great. So yeah. Meppo is the vehicle. This is who you're trying to get onto the board, right? We'll talk about more in the guide video. Later on, you could just play Koby. If your board is pretty full, just play Koby over the Meppo. Swing the Meppo, get rid of him. Now you have 2 on board. Some people were like, oh, do I keep Meppo around forever? No, you don't. All right, yeah. So right now, I'm running 8-cost Koby. I think he does what we want to do. So his on play, you can give a character attack active, right? So that gives you an extra swing. You can give it to a Habari, swing Habari, and then hand it right back to him, which would be great. And then his when attacking, you can just put 2 cards to the bottom of your deck, and then we gain 1,000 power on a character or leader until the end of next turn. Which, don't get me wrong, Smoshigi is good in their own right, but I think this is more what we want to do. Last 2, I'm running 2 events, just one of those right now. I want to fit Honesty Impact into the deck, so decided to grab that. It's good for going wide decks. And then to give myself that option, I put Meteor Fist in as well. I like this card in general. I was thinking of upping it to 2 possibly. It depends on what I might play around with ratios and do that. But they're just great cards. You know, right here, you could combo this on Tendon with a Doll, and you can just evaporate a 12k. And then you can reduce another body by 4, which is awesome. Yeah. And the Meteor Fist is just 3 costs, reduce a character by 5,000 power. As a trigger, the trigger you can activate the main, so if that were to happen on your opponent's turn, you can trigger it and reduce a character's swing by 5k, which can save you. Can save you a swing, you know. Obviously, Koby. Just want to show him off. If you don't know what he does, I probably should have started with this, but we didn't. But your sword type characters can attack on the turn in which they're played, which means if there's a rested body, they can swing into it right away. Right? If they give themselves attack active, they can swing right away. And if you play a card and somebody else can give them attack active, they can swing at another character right away. And then, as I was saying before, once per turn, if your Navy type character with 7,000 base power or less would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you place 3 in the bottom of your from your trash to the bottom of your deck, and you can save them, which is great. That works for Grav Blade. It works for Red Rock's Gone, so you don't need to worry about that. But yeah, and that's about it. So that's a real quick deck list rundown, and I'll be there with a guide video like probably this weekend, and we'll go move over to the sim for that. But yeah, Smoshigi SP. Yeah, but love him, love Koby. Shout out to the fleet. See y'all soon. Peace.